There was a time when crossing America meant passing through its towns. Not past them, through them. The highway narrowed as it reached the edge of town. Houses appeared, then filling stations, garages, cafes. A motel sign might rise above the rooftops, promising a clean room for the night. And before long, the highway became Main Street. A family traveling across the country might stop for gasoline and stay for lunch. A salesman might spend the night. Someone with a flat tire might meet the local mechanic. Children sitting beside a storefront could watch automobiles arrive carrying license plates from states they had never seen. The people in those cars were going somewhere else, but for a little while, they were part of the town. That was simply how much of America traveled. Before the modern interstate system, major highways routinely entered cities and towns, often following streets directly through their commercial centers. The arrangement was good for many businesses. It wasn't always good for travelers. Cars mixed with trucks, pedestrians, bicycles, local traffic, and intersections. Town centers became bottlenecks. Trips took longer. Accidents were a serious concern. And after World War II, America was putting more automobiles on roads that had never been designed for what was coming. By the mid-1950s, nearly 40,000 people were dying each year on the nation's roads. Congestion was growing, freight was growing, and the country needed highways designed for an automobile age its older roads had never been built to handle. The country needed something better. And America built it. The Interstate Highway System was an extraordinary undertaking. Thousands of miles of controlled access highway would connect cities, states, industries, and people on a scale the country had never known. The new roads were wider, faster, more predictable. They moved freight more efficiently and made long-distance travel easier. And when engineers approached a small town, there was often an obvious solution to an old problem. Don't send all that traffic down Main Street. Go around it. For the traveler, it could be wonderful. No stoplights, no delivery trucks blocking the lane, no crawling through downtown behind local traffic. But somewhere below the new overpass, a cafe owner could look through the window and notice something else. The cars were gone. The same traffic that had frustrated towns for years had also been bringing customers to their doors. The old road brought America into town. The new road gave America a way around it. Nobody needed a historian to explain the danger to Main Street merchants. They understood it while the highways were being planned. The controversy became significant enough that federal highway law required public hearings concerning the economic effects of routing highways through or around cities and towns. But the outcome was never as simple as saying a bypass destroyed a town. Some communities welcomed relief from congestion, some benefited from new access, some businesses adapted, others did not. And highways were only one part of a much larger transformation sweeping through 20th century America. Factories changed, retail changed, agriculture changed, people moved. Businesses consolidated. The country was becoming more mobile at the same time its economy was becoming less local. For some towns, losing through traffic was merely one change among many. For others, it arrived at exactly the wrong moment. In the foothills of North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains sits Elkin. Like many American communities, Elkin's identity was shaped by transportation, commerce, and industry. For generations, work and town life existed close together. People came downtown because downtown was where things happened. Old Highway 21 ran through Elkin. Then the geography of movement changed. Interstate 77 was built less than 2 miles east of town, creating a faster route through the region. Travelers could move through the area without moving through the heart of Elkin. Over time, downtown lost much of the visitor traffic that had once passed naturally through town. At the same time, the textile economy that had sustained Elkin for generations was changing. Chatham manufacturing passed through new owners and restructuring as American textile employment declined. Over time, the industry that had helped build the town ceased to provide the economic foundation it once had. This is where it would be easy to tell the familiar story. The road moved. Industry changed. Main Street declined. End of story. Except it wasn't. Because towns are not buildings, and they are not traffic counts. They are people. Elkin began asking a different question. If people no longer had to come through town, why would they choose to come? The answer wasn't to rebuild the past exactly as it had been. The community began working with what the past had left behind. Historic downtown, the surrounding landscape, the river, trails, and recreation, architecture worth preserving, and a region developing a new identity around the vineyards and wineries of the Yadkin Valley. Elkin entered North Carolina's Main Street program. Its downtown gained historic recognition. Trails and outdoor recreation expanded. Tourism grew. The town began deliberately redefining itself as a destination. The transformation didn't erase what had been lost. It couldn't. But it demonstrated something that would happen in different forms all across America. A town that had once depended upon being on the way could learn how to become a destination. And sometimes survival begins with that distinction. More than 2,000 miles away, in the mountains of northern Idaho, another town faced the interstate in a very different way. Wallace didn't simply have to worry about traffic passing somewhere else. Wallace had to worry about the highway coming through. The town sits in a narrow valley surrounded by steep mountains. There weren't unlimited places to put a modern freeway, and completing Interstate 90 through that landscape threatened historic buildings and the physical character of the community. Wallace had something worth fighting for, so people fought. Among the leading figures was businessman and preservation advocate Harry Magnuson. Preservation became more than an appreciation for old architecture. It became a tool. Wallace's historic district gained protection, and the community continued expanding its preservation efforts. By 1983, the historic district had expanded far beyond the original downtown commercial core, encompassing residential neighborhoods and roughly 500 residences along with the city's commercial district. The interstate would still come. Progress wasn't going to stop at the edge of town, but that didn't mean Wallace had to surrender everything in its path. Plans changed, compromises were made, some structures were lost, others survived. And one particular building provides perhaps the best symbol of the entire story. The Northern Pacific Railroad depot stood in the highway's way. The easiest answer would have been demolition. Instead, the depot was moved. In 1986, the building was physically relocated roughly 200 feet across the Coeur d'Alene River. Brick, timber, windows, history, picked up and carried out of the path of the future. Five years later, Interstate 90 was finally completed through Wallace. The 4-lane elevated freeway ran along the hillside north of town, leaving the historic district largely intact. Traffic could finally move through the valley without stopping. Wallace remained below. There is something wonderfully American about that picture. The highway and the town both survived. Neither remained exactly what it had been. And perhaps that's the mistake we make when we talk about places that progress supposedly left behind. We imagine history as a contest with one winner, new road or old town, progress or preservation, future or past. But real communities are rarely that simple. Across America, bypasses and interstates changed where people traveled, where businesses located, and what travelers saw from their windshields. Some communities suffered badly. Some businesses never returned. Some towns became smaller than they had once expected to become. We shouldn't pretend otherwise. But neither should we confuse change with disappearance. Because Americans did what Americans have done again and again. They adapted. Some communities restored their downtowns. Some found new industries. Some turned natural landscapes into destinations. Some discovered that old buildings people once considered obsolete were exactly what made their town different from every interchange, lined with the same restaurants and the same stores. Some preserved theaters, courthouses, railroad depots, storefronts, neighborhoods. Some found economic value in the very history progress had nearly convinced them to discard. And slowly, an interesting reversal began. For generations, travelers stopped in these towns because the highway made them. Now people sometimes leave the interstate on purpose to find them. Not because it is the fastest route, because it isn't. Not because the old road is more efficient, because efficiency isn't always what we're looking for. Sometimes we want the courthouse square, the old theater marquee, the local restaurant, the building that has stood on the same corner longer than anyone alive can remember. Sometimes we want to know what exists beyond the exit sign. The Interstate Highway System changed America. It connected a continent more efficiently than the roads before it could. It helped move families, freight, commerce, and opportunity across enormous distances. And it changed thousands of communities along the way. Those truths can exist together. Progress gave America something remarkable, and progress asked some places to change. The story of those towns isn't simply about what disappeared. It's about what happened next. Today, traffic still rushes along the interstates. Most drivers have somewhere to be. An exit appears. A town name flashes past. Then another, and another. It is easy to imagine those names as little more than markers along the journey. But somewhere beyond that sign is a main street. There are buildings that remember when the highway came straight through town. There are businesses that survived, families who stayed, people who rebuilt, people who preserved things someone else once considered expendable, and communities still deciding what their next chapter will be. A highway can determine where traffic goes. It cannot determine whether a community matters. For generations, the road brought America through the heart of town. Then we built roads that carried us farther, faster, and sometimes right past the places that once welcomed us. But being bypassed was never the same as being forgotten. Across America, communities preserved what mattered, adapted to what changed, and found new reasons to keep going. The interstate could move the traffic. It could move businesses. It could change the map. But the American town was always more than a road running through it. It was the people who stayed.